percentage point. It's under 2% right now. And you go out and try to find a credit card company that will give you under 2% as a fee for anything, and you will not find it on your own. So what'll happen, and we will send you your money every 2 weeks. So if you have Adventist School Pay, you'll set that account up. The parents will pay that online, and then every 2 weeks we will take and forward to your bank everything that's accumulated in your account every 2 weeks. We're in about 15 or 20 schools right now. And so if you contact the IT department at the division or send me an email, we can help you get that set up. So that's Adventist School Pay. The other thing I'd like to share with you is the new program on Wachovia student loans. Have you heard about Wachovia student loans? I'll have to be honest with you, that was a tough one for me to know whether that was the right thing to do. You understand that? But you know what changed my mind? When I had parents calling angry that the school was withholding a student's transcripts because they hadn't paid the bill. And the parents were saying, I will never darken the door of another Adventist church because, I spent all this money, and because my husband died or the dog died or whatever the reason was, I couldn't pay the bill. Now you're holding the transcript and holding me hostage. Well, it's a contractual agreement. But if we were to have a way in which if a parent owed you $5,000, would it be better to settle with that person after 2 years through a collection agency for $2,500 and destroy the relationship between you and that parent? Or is it better to say you can take out a loan through Wachovia at $30 a month over 20 years, paid off anytime you want, and not hold their transcripts and let them graduate on time and give them that option? That's what changed my mind. If we can give parents an option, they can spread it out over 20 years if they want, which makes the payments low. They can pay it off anytime they want. So once they get themselves, how many times have you heard, well, we'll pay you as soon as we get our income tax. We'll pay you as soon as we sell the car. We'll pay you as soon as, the lottery ticket is turned in. We will pay you as soon as, right? Well, this is an easy way to say, oh, you're getting the money in 90 days? Well, then just take out a loan for 20 years and pay it off in 90 days. You see? We have pre-approved all of your schools. You have to have what's called a TERI certification in order to get student loans, T-E-R-I. The North American Division has pre-approved every accredited Adventist school in North America with TERI certification. We've done all the paperwork. I've worked with all the federal agencies, and we have all of you approved. Every Adventist school is approved. You don't have to go through the approval process. The parents still have to be approved. That makes sense. If mom and dad are unemployed and there's no money coming in, the bank's not going to lend them money if they don't have any reasonable expectations to get it back. The parents still have to go through that approval process. But it is a way for you to hold out to your students and parents a positive way and build communication, build relationships instead of destroying them because of the lack of payment of bills. Comments or questions on Wachovia loans?
My board refused to let me give it out because of the variable interest. They said they didn't want to encourage getting in debt, and they were very much afraid of the variable interest. Is there anything you can do about that?
All right, the comment was her board refused to allow her to give it out because the board was worried about the variable interest in getting parents into debt. Is that the board's responsibility to worry about the variable interest rate? I guess they would rather take them to a collection agency 2 years down the line and collect half and destroy their credit for the next 7 years. That's what I don't understand. And I know that there's, you know, that philosophical loans, getting into debt and all of that. Advanced education is not cheap anymore. It's never been cheap, but it's not inexpensive. We need to provide our families with options to allow them to survive in that arena. The best thing is not to allow them to get into debt. If they're a month behind, somebody needs to contact that parent and say, you're a month behind. If they're 2 months behind, then there needs to be some consequences. There should be policies built at the board, and we'll talk about that through boardsmanship, and they need to follow through on that. What happens when we, as a school, allow that family to get $10,000 worth of debt? Are they ever going to be able to pay that off? Cash? No. And whose fault is that? That we let them get $10,000 worth of debt? Is that their fault or our fault? That's our fault. And so we need to give that, I'm telling you my philosophy. We need to give them an out then to allow them to survive because of that. It's their fault too. It's the 100% rule, you know. 100% their fault, 100% our fault.
So the school pay is 2%?
It's about 2%.
So they can pay into the school at a 2%, which is better than Wachovia.
No, the school pay is they can pay their charges at school online on a credit card, and the school will be charged 2%. So in other words, if it's $1,000, they pay $1,000, then we're going to withdraw 2% off from that and send you the difference. All right. So every 2 weeks, instead of sending you $1,000, we'll send you $980, right? So that 2% we will keep because we're not going to make a dime, not 1 cent, but whatever the actual cost that the bank charges us, we will deduct from and send you the difference, okay? That's how it works. How did this start? It started with Adventist church pay, Adventist church online or something. So you can pay your tuition, your tithe using your credit card and still get your miles. I've never done it. There are some that, and they're seeing an increase in giving at the local church because of it. So, you know, there are philosophical things I have with that too, but the Adventist school pay, there's also an area there for donations. If people want to donate to your Worthy Student Fund, if they want to donate to your building fund, you can put little check marks where they can donate, and you can write in whatever you want, so that if you have a fundraiser for a new bus and you want to put bus fund there and put a check mark, and they can put a dollar amount, they can then make donations to your school online through your website. That's built into this system. You'll lose 2% of it, but it may be money you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. There's something else I was going to, it's going to be the school's responsibility to give receipts. The division will not give receipts on the money you'll get an accounting at the end of every 2 weeks saying Marshall Bauer paid $12,327 on his school bill, and we're sending you 2% less than that, and then you'll have to work with Marshall to get him his receipt for his taxes. Okay? Anything else? Yes?
How does accessing the loan, the parents, how is it affected by their credit?
Well, just like any other loan, the parents will have to qualify for that loan. Now, most of the time, those loans are not going to be high dollar amounts. It's not like buying a car or a house that you're going out and putting $20,000 or $30,000 and getting a loan. Most of the time, I'm hoping we're talking about $5,000 or $6,000, $3,000, $2,000, whatever that amount may be. So it's not a high dollar amount, so the threshold for acceptance is going to be lower than it would be if it was a high dollar amount loan. But the parents do have to qualify. And all of the applications are online. You can put all of those on your website. You can click and go, and the parents can fill out all the applications, send them in, and do all of the paperwork online. And then they can get their application approved, and they will send a check to the school in the name of the school and the parent. And the parent come in and will have to sign the check and then turn it over to the school and put it on their account.
Because I was just wondering about the receipt, because you say it comes to the school less 2%. I was wondering what receipt the parents are going to get, $980 or $1,000?
That's the school. The school would have to give them $1,000, right? They'd have to give them credit for $1,000. That's the cost of doing business online, is that 2%. So that's a cost of business. You're going to have to understand that you're going to give up 2% of your total income that you get offline. But if it makes it easier for parents, and you can do this as a debit, as a monthly debit out of their checking account, electronic checks, so that you can have it automatically debited from their account every month, and build that right into the system, so that you don't have to bill them. Does it cost you money to send statements and develop statements for parents? Can you, in many of the school account tracks and many other systems, you can generate electronic statements. You can email those statements to the parents. They can pay off that statement. Then you can email them receipts if you want. They can print them out. You can do a whole paperless transaction if you want to do it that way. And that would save you your 2% in the long run,